Hello and welcome. The war of words between the Somali community and Donald Trump is now wide open. Trump's remarks attacking Somalis have sparked outrage, not just in the United States, but in Somalia as well. United States Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who represents one of the largest Somali communities in America, fired back after Trump's renewed his attacks on her and the Somali community in Minnesota. At a recent White House meeting, the US president called Somalis garbage. He claimed they have taken billions of dollars out of the country. Omar denounced his comments and said Trump is obsessed with her.
The president has always had very bigoted, xenophobic, Islamophobic comments when it comes to people who are of Muslim faith or people who are black. We've seen him call African nations as shitholes, and so it's not really surprising. But what is weird to me is just how creepy he's been obsessed with me and the Somali community.
And Omar didn't stop there. She then went on to accuse Trump of deflecting from the failures of his administration. She says the Somali community stays defiant despite Trump's attempt to scapegoat them.
The Somali community is very resilient. We're very strong. We are not going to be intimidated or scapegoated, and I think we are seeing just an outpouring of support from our Minnesota neighbors, and so I just know that this is not going to cause any harm to our community.
But beyond the political back and forth, Trump's words have real consequences on the ground. In Minneapolis, Somalis say the community is on edge. Some are avoiding malls because they fear immigration raids. Many say they've heard tough rhetoric before, but this time feels different.
Stealing any money? I'm American. I'm a business owner. I'm working. I've been in America 26 years. I have my own house. I don't do nothing. So all the Somalians, they're not bad. Why he keeps saying Somali only? But a lot of people who undocumented, like they have a work button only, they don't want to come to the mall and buy something because they worry for them.
And these fears aren't baseless. Federal officials have announced targeted immigration operations focused on Somali migrants with final deportation orders. The Trump administration has ended temporary protected status for some nationals. And the impact of Trump's remarks have gone beyond American borders. In Mogadishu, residents condemned Trump's words as racist and offensive, with some changing their view on America completely.
Trump's comments are a blatant offense to Somalis. This is not just an insult to us, but to all Somalis. I question why he focuses on Somali issues and demeans hardworking individuals instead. That isn't the language expected from a president.
My view of the U.S. and living there has changed dramatically. I never thought a president, especially in his second term, would speak so harshly. Because of this, I have no plans to travel to the U.S.
This is intolerable. Trump insults Somalis several times daily, calling us garbage and other derogatory names we can no longer tolerate.
Now, Trump's tirade is tied to a broader crackdown on immigration. It follows a deadly shooting in Washington, D.C. on November 26th. The suspect, identified by authorities, is an Afghan evacuee who immigrated to America under a resettlement program. Immediately after the shooting, Trump paused immigration from third world countries. But what's often left out of the political argument is the real story of why so many Somalis came to America in the first place. For more than 30 years, Somalia has been trapped in instability ever since the fall of dictator Siad Barre. Civil war, al-Shabaab attacks, and constant political turmoil have forced millions to flee their home. Minnesota became a major destination because of strong resettlement programs. Despite challenges, the Somali American community has made deep roots. Poverty rates have declined, workforce participation has risen, and many now own homes and businesses. This is no longer just a political spat. It's a collision over who gets to define America. And that brings us to the bigger question, whether immigrants who escaped war should now feel targeted in the country they call home. And to help us unpack this, we're joined by our guest, Wara Okonkwo, a political analyst joining us live from Johannesburg. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
First of all, we heard that Ilhan Omar called Trump's fixation creepy and unhealthy. How does her position in Congress change the stakes for Somali Americans right now?
Yeah, remember, Omar is in Congress, and if you understand, the Congress is a bicameral legislature that creates federal laws and consists of two chambers, which is the House of Rep and the Senate. So with her position in Congress, she can help change the status by convincing fellow congressmen to not agree with President Trump's stance on Somalia. This can help frustrate whatever plans policy the President Trump wants to enact to deport Somalis out of America. So she has her position could help Somalis not to be taken into the rage of such comments from the presidency.
Yes, and nearly 87% of foreign-born Somalis in Minnesota are naturalized citizens. Most have lived there for years. What happens to community trust when people feel they're being profiled purely by nationality?
Definitely, the community trust will be broken amongst the Somalis. They will feel unsafe in America, not knowing if they will be kicked out of the country they have lived almost all their lives. So that fear will definitely settle in. But they would then be assured that the system would not allow Trump's policies to kick them out because they are properly naturalized as citizens in America. The only fear is that the policy on immigration through Trump's presidency might tighten on those who are yet to be naturalized as citizens of America.
Yes, and Wara, finally, looking ahead, what do you think will happen next? Will there be more confrontation, more rhetoric from Donald Trump, or is there a pathway to de-escalation of these tensions?
Well, for me, I see both Congress as well as other well-meaning Americans challenging President Trump's intentions of kicking out the Somalis. This can lead to more confrontation, thus leading to possible de-escalation of these amongst the Somalis, as well as the President Trump's presidency. So that's my take on what I foresee happening.
Yes, Wara Okonkwo, thank you ever so much for joining us and providing insight.
Thank you.
I rose from the army with medals on my chest. I spoke of freedom from colonial chains, but I tightened my own. I filled prisons with ghosts. Nearly 500,000 people were butchered under my rule, and I trusted only my paranoia. I gave myself grand titles. I claimed to be Africa's strongman. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?